Welcome to the series where I test out money-making methods from the OSRS Wiki. Feel free to leave suggestions on which moneymaker you'd like to see next. And also, if you didn't already know, I have a nice playlist that I've created that has all of the previous moneymakers that I've already tried, so go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. With that being said, let's get into the video. So for today's moneymaker, I thought we'd go ahead and do a suggestion from quite some time ago. I was putting it off for a bit because I didn't think that it was going to be worth the money that you get per hour for the amount of requirements needed, because there are quite a bit of requirements needed for this. But here we are, 3 months later, we're going to kill some Aviansies. And I'm not even sure if that is the proper way to say it, so how about we just call them Birdmen. Now if we take a look at some of the requirements needed for this, we will be needing 60 strength and 60 agility to enter the dungeon itself. Some nice range and defense levels will also help. You will also be needing a myth grapple and a crossbow of any kind so that you can get across the shortcut and get access to the area where the Birdmen are. And if it is your first time entering the God Wars dungeon, you will also need a rope. It's also highly recommended to have the completion of the hard Fremenic tasks done. That way you can get some noted adamantite bars. Since that is where the bulk of the money will be coming from, it is almost necessary to have that, because if you don't have that, then this isn't really a moneymaker that's worth doing. Now as for the gear setup, I am taking full armadillo so that we can disguise ourselves as a Birdman and fit right in with them. On a more serious note, the armadillo will actually protect us from the armadillo soldiers in there. They won't attack us. We are also bringing an unholy blessing to protect us from the Zamorak minions, because in the place that we're going to be chilling at, we're going to need to have armadillo and Zamorak protection, because those are the ones that are going to be there fighting each other. Now if you don't have armadillo, you can just bring some blessed d'hide, and if you really wanted to, you could bring a protection item for every single god to avoid damage when you first enter there. But in the main area that we're going to be chilling in, you really only need a Zamorak item and an armadillo item. Our weapon of choice will be the toxic blowpipe, and I am bringing runes for High Alk and Bones to Peaches. Now if you want to cast Bones to Peaches with runes, you will need to do Mage Training Arena, otherwise you'll just have to use the tablets that you can buy from the GE. Which really isn't a big deal in this case since they work just as well. The only, I guess, benefit you could say is that I am saving money by using the runes, and we are also getting some magic XP as well. Now as for getting to the area, I did use a Trollheim teleport to get here. I used the tablet, which you can make by getting a house teleport and a scroll of redirection from NMZ. If you don't have the requirements to use the Trollheim teleport, I'll go ahead and throw a map on here to show you what other routes you can take. Now following the path north, we're going to run into this big boulder right here that we can push out of the way. I believe this is where the 60 strength requirement comes in handy. And thankfully we do have the fire over there burning, which basically makes it to where we don't get our stats reduced in this area, and our stamina doesn't get reduced either, which is pretty nice, but it's not necessary. I'm assuming that is what the super restore in my inventory is for, because again I am using the setup that the wiki suggested. Now once you're in here, you can just run south to this area. Make sure you equip your crossbow with your myth grapple hook, and you can swing across this little area with the agility requirement. Now one thing that I forgot to do after swinging into this area is to put my weapon and my unholy blessing back on immediately, because I forgot, and as you can see here, the Zamorak minions in this area were attacking me, so I did take quite a bit of damage before the video even started. But yes, this is how you get to the area where we will be killing the Aviansies, or the Birdmen as we'll be calling them. And here you can see me switching worlds so that I can lose the aggro from the Zamorak minions that were attacking me. I'll also be dropping the myth grapple and the crossbow since we don't need them anymore. And with that being said, we can now begin the 1 hour of killing these Birdmen. Now unfortunately, these guys do drop a lot of items that aren't really worth too much. In the beginning I tried to pick up every single item that they were dropping, but towards the end I started slacking off and only picking up the items that were really worth something, either items that I could alch or some of the runes that could stack with the ones that I already had, even though towards the end I stopped picking those up as well. The most important thing to pick up here is really the adamantite bars. That's where the bulk of the money will be coming from, and again, I highly recommend that you have the hard Fremenic diary done, that way you can get them in noted form. Otherwise, this really isn't worth doing. Since we are using the toxic blowpipe, remember that you do have a spec that you can use to gain some of your health back, even though this spec has been known to have a very, very low accuracy. I mean, it seems like every time I use a spec, it barely hits anything. And I'm sure many people out there have also had the same experience with this weapon. But again, don't forget to use those specs when you have them, because it did take me some time to realize that I actually had those. Now the bulk of my healing will be from the Bones to Peaches ability, or the spell that I have with the runes. I'm using the water runes, nature runes, and lava runes in my rune pouch, and all I am doing is just picking up the bones that all of these birdmen drop, since we will be killing them fairly quickly with the toxic blowpipe. You'll also notice that I brought with me an herb sack. This can come in handy since they do drop a bunch of herbs. Most of them aren't really worth even picking up, but I do believe that I picked up most of them. They do drop grimy ranar weeds, which are probably the best ones. Those are actually worth something, unlike the other guam leaves and whatnot that they drop. An item that I didn't bring but that you should bring if you have it is the soul bearer. That will allow you to store the ensouled heads that these birdmen drop. We did get quite a few of them, and you'll see them sort of pile up towards the bottom of my inventory as the video progresses. Now, if I could do something differently, I would probably not bring the monkfish. I think that I could probably survive just off of the swordfish drops and the Bones to Peaches alone. But if I wanted to be really efficient and kill as many of these as I could with the least amount of effort possible, I'd probably bring prayer potions instead of food and just protect range. That way I could attack 5 or 6 of these birdmen at a time and then just let auto retaliate take care of them. Since I only had one super restore, it did run out pretty quickly, and for the most part we were healing with the peaches, which meant that I could only attack one of these guys at a time unless I felt like taking loads of damage from multiple birdmen. Another helpful tip that I highly recommend that I didn't really start doing till I guess the later half of the video was to avoid attacking the high level birdmen. There is like a level 137 that just completely demolished me every time that I attacked him, so probably wise to stay away from that one. Also, be careful that you don't accidentally attack any of the other minions that are in here. I do believe that I killed a spiritual ranger without even knowing. It wasn't until the end of the video where I looked at the loot tab and saw that I had killed one of them, so rip. Now, unfortunately, the day that I was recording this video, my mouse decided to break. I wouldn't say that it's completely broken, but it is pretty annoying. About half the time it won't register any clicks, and then the other half of the time it double clicks, so it's kind of annoying. And I think the most upsetting part about it is that I spent quite a good amount of money on it, and it only lasted about a year, whereas my first wireless mouse that I bought on eBay for like 10 bucks lasted me 4 years. So yeah, I was pretty upset about that, but I'll have to just get a new one. Who knows, maybe we'll just get a sponsor and have them mail us a mouse. I've already gotten offers from like private servers to advertise their server, but obviously I'm not going to take that. I don't think that's the best idea, but it's still cool to be, you know, in the position to get offered that, so maybe one day. But that is enough rambling. We are coming towards the end of the video, and as you can see, we have piled up a nice amount of birdman heads. Kind of creepy, but yeah, those will sell for a good amount. And as you can see in the top right, we did manage to kill 231 armadillo minions, which was quite a lot more than what the wiki suggested. I do believe it said it was 115, but you gotta remember that we were wearing pretty much max gear with the toxic blowpipe and maxed out range. We also had those nice divine ranging potions, which probably weren't even necessary. The cost of them I don't think was worth it, so yeah, probably don't bring those. And the final price check is 659,000 GP, so not bad. Now I'm just going to go ahead and sell all of the loot. I'm going to put it in there for low prices just to sell it off quickly, because I do have a lot of it and I really don't feel like letting it sit there for a long time, especially some of these herbs that have no value. But again, if you choose to do this moneymaker, make sure that you do leave it in there for at least market price or maybe even slightly over. That way you can truly maximize your profit. Now, besides the annoying mouse situation, I have also been suffering from some pretty bad internet lag. I'm not sure if it's the server or if it's just my internet service, but it's been pretty bad. As you can see here, I was killing Corporal Beast and I tried to tele out about 2 or 3 times and it just would not respond. And then after I died. I tried to click around and it did not respond, and then it said that we were disconnected. So that went on for about a couple days, which was very, very annoying. But it's not all bad news. We did manage to at least finish off that kill. I went back there and finished it off, and we got some onyx bolts, so not too bad. But here's the final price check, 657k from 1 hour of killing these birdmen. Now we can go ahead and calculate the total profit that we made in this 1 hour. So if we subtract the cost of supplies, which was 397,278 GP, from the amount of money that we made, which was 657,013 GP, we get a grand total profit of 259,735 GP. Which again isn't the best amount of money. I mean, I guess the one good thing about this method is that you can train your range. We did manage to get a nice amount of range XP. As you can see here, we managed to get 83.6 thousand range XP, which isn't a bad amount. But again, the money really isn't that great here, so I'd say you're better off doing some other requirements for better money makers out there, or just do a money maker that doesn't have that many requirements and still makes you more money. Here is also the loot from all of the Aviansies that we killed, and you can see some of the items that we didn't get to pick up since there were a bunch of items that weren't really worth too much. I just want to say thanks for checking out the video, and if you did enjoy it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and possibly a subscription, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next episode.